My life includes being somebody who went from being a scholar student to being incarcerated in the Tennessee Department of Corrections and still was able to contribute something to somebody else's life. And so if me talking to that guy with that 8 is just to say, hey man, what you gonna do when you get out? And he say, well, you know, I'm finna get out. I ain't gonna lie to you, he said. I'm finna get out and put that pack back in my hand. I say, well, look here. I know you thinking that now, but you ain't actually got there yet. So this would be the time to at least think of an alternative. So even though that's your plan A, if that don't work, what's your plan B? Have you thought about a job? Man, I ain't gonna work for them folk for minimum wage. I said, well, I'll tell you what would you work for? What do you mean? I mean, how much money would it take for you to go to a job 8 hours a day? How much money do you think you're worth? Well, man, I mean, most guys couldn't tell me the answer to that. So what I started doing was saying, look, you want the perfect job? Create it for yourself. Here, take this book on entrepreneurship. Go read it. Here, take this book and go read it. See if you can't come up with a plan, a blueprint for your own life. Create your own business. You don't want to go work for somebody else? Then create your own business. But see, I'm going to let them in on a little known secret right here. If you're the dope man, you got a job and you work for somebody else. Because you're not going to be a successful dope man unless you keep product all the time, and people can reach you when they need to reach you. And so it's a service-oriented industry, which means that if you're gonna be the dope man, you have to be available 24 hours a day. You have to deal with people you don't wanna deal with. Customer service is important because people aren't gonna buy from you if they don't perceive that they can at least trust you and deal with you. And if a guy comes to you and he says, look, I wanna get my check to Friday, but now, if you just let me get this now, I take care of you Friday. When a guy comes to you and tells you that, then suddenly you've gone from being the dope man to being a credit lender. And so every single aspect of legitimate business we've learned about in the streets. And I tell those guys, I say, listen, you've been doing it all this time anyway. And let's add up what you got for it, okay? You're sitting in jail. I can tell you right now that there's a discrepancy on the face of your judgment sheet that if you had a lawyer, you actually could get your time commuted because your sentence is illegal in the law. What I'm saying is there's a legal stipulation that's wrong. You shouldn't even be here for this much time. But you don't know that because you didn't have a lawyer. Why didn't you have a lawyer? Well, I didn't have one. So you're selling dope, you're doing all this, and you don't have a lawyer? You didn't get lawyer money, you didn't get bail money. So if we add up what you actually made in that year's time, you made less than a person working minimum wage, selling dope, taking a chance to come into prison.
We will share, educate, and promote a changed lifestyle in ourselves and our youth. With honesty, we will exhibit good morals, leadership, and community development, establishing ourselves to be real role models for each other and our youth. We will teach ourselves and our youth about politics, economics, drug and alcohol abuse, and the need for respect and authority.
Thank you, gentlemen.